Good evening, everybody. I'm Jonathan Wilner from Harrington Limousine Service, and with me this evening is Mr. Ed Black from Heartland Payments. Good evening, Ed.
Good evening, Jonathan. Thank you for inviting me. Good evening, everyone.
Wow, it's so great to have you here this evening. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. A little background on me. I'm the guy you've seen on many milk cartons. They finally found me. I'm only kidding. No, the reality is I've been in sales for over half my life, since I graduated college, really, since I graduated Rutgers. I was born and raised in Jersey City. I've lived in Woodbridge close to 25 years, since moving from Jersey City as a teenager. And I'm married, 3 children. My oldest daughter is 25, Dallas. My youngest daughter is Emily. She'll be 19 in September. And my little boy, Shane, will be 3 in October. And, I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Wow. So what prompted you to join Heartland Payment? I mean, with the background in sales and so forth, I'm sure there were a lot of different opportunities for you. So what made you go to Heartland?
Great question. I hated Heartland when I worked for Paychex. And later on, when I worked for PNC Bank, I hated Heartland even more. And part of the reason I realized what I found to be true about the company is that it's what you see is what you get. And in the payroll and in the credit card industries, that's not always the case, depending on who you're dealing with. Another thing that intrigued me about Heartland is ownership. I worked for Paychex for 4.5 years. I worked for PNC Bank, not very long. I worked for them for about a year. I ran away screaming. That's a story for another time. I never thought I would be selling credit card processing ever again. It was actually a very bad experience for me. And when I came to Heartland, I was looking really to get into the payroll industry, pretty much just that. And what I realized at Heartland, I could use my experience in both payroll and card processing to my advantage. But the key difference is, as opposed to those companies, I actually own my book of business. And when you're a salesperson and you work for a company, whether it be Paychex or ADP or Cintas or you name the company, there are great companies. You work for a bank or you work for any professional sales organization. When you bring those clients on board many, many times, if you leave, they're not yours anymore. So all that hard work and all that energy and all that dedication and all the grind that you put in, you don't have any ownership in that at the end of the day. At Heartland is completely different. Everything we do, all the clients that we bring on board, that I bring on board, are actually part of a book of business that's vested. I own it. It's actually, if I were to leave Heartland, if I were to retire, as long as those accounts are still in the book of business, it will continue to pay me a monthly residual. Or I could buy the business out, and cash out. So it's flexibility, it's options, it's all of the stuff that I had been doing for 20 plus years. Now I can actually plant my flag and say, this is Ed Black LLC, DBA Heartland. And that's huge, huge, huge shit. That's what brought me to the opportunity, and seeing it actually in practice is what's kept me here for over 5 years. And I really don't see me working for another sales company in the future. I'm likely going to retire here, and I'd be happy to do it.
Well, that's really very interesting story that you just shared with us. And I'm sure Heartland would be excited to hear that and use that in their own promotional products to recruit more salespeople to do the business. So,
well, I tell you, it's the most challenging business I've ever been in. I won't even lie to you. It is actually the most challenging job I've ever had. To your point, Jonathan, I actually, because I manage other reps, and when I sit down with them, I ask them that question. What if I told you you could own your book of business? And 100% of those people look at me like, what did you just say? I'm not, because I know they do, because I said the same thing. Like, what? What are you talking about? But then you also have to show it. And that's also part of the Heartland way that I've come to value, and it's hugely important to my life.
So tell me a little bit now that we're going through this pandemic. I'm sure sales had, in your industry, just like it is in any other industry, has taken a turn and has changed. How has it changed for you in what you do, and what are you doing to improve the sales part of what you do?
It's a great question. Obviously, with COVID-19, there's new opportunities, there's new challenges. The way that we did business January 1st, 2020, the way I went to business March 15th of 2020, completely changed the next day. And there has been a learning process. There has been a growing process. And we're still in that. That hasn't changed, actually. We're still, every day, it seems like there's some new, uh, there's a change, or new restrictions, or restrictions are being relaxed and then tightened again, and so on and so forth. I think, I don't know how religious people are, but if you believe in the concept of Darwin's theory of evolution, whether you think that people came from Adam and Eve or we came from fish and monkeys, the core lesson of the theory of evolution is that the strongest survive, and those with the ability to adapt will continue. We're seeing that now literally in the world that we're in today. You have to find a way to adapt. You have to find a way to be nimble. You have to be flexible. And you also have to be, honestly, you got to be human. You have to understand that you're not sometimes we get wrapped up in how the pandemic is affecting us personally. We take things very personally. Um, and sometimes, to ground myself, even when I start feeling down or upset or frustrated, I kind of look at things as, hey, what else is going on in the world? Who else is suffering? How can I maybe help those people? Um,
Can I ask you, in your
sure.
industry, real quick, in your industry, has there been any changes that make it easier for the retail business to use credit cards? Has there been any discounts or any additional services that they may provide that would be advantageous for new clients to switch over to Heartland?
There's a restaurant I happen to know in Staten Island that's been around for 90 years, cash only business. And they started taking credit cards because of the pandemic, because in order for them to survive, they had to be able to do takeout and delivery. Many of their customers were demanding contactless payment. They didn't want to pay with cash. Um, they also wanted to create an online presence for online ordering, which was something they never even thought of. Um, again, as of March 15th of this year. Now it's become a vital part of the business. Um, when you talk about different products and different services that Heartland offer, and the way that the world is changing and what some of the things we do, um, some of the things I'm seeing out there now are the desire of businesses to have the opportunity to pay with a mobile terminal or something that's contactless, reducing um, the amount of times you need to touch a credit card, um, something that accepts Apple Pay, something that accepts Google Wallet, something that you could actually have a system that allows your customers to put an app on their phone and actually do the ordering through an app and pay for it through the app and go pick it up or have it delivered to them. All those things Heartland can work with you with. So it's really about sitting down with the customer, understanding what their needs are, understanding what their new challenges are, and then matching the solution to the problems that they're having. Payroll is another one. That's a huge thing right now because many of these businesses took out PPP loans just to survive. And in order for you to justify that loan, whether it's going to become a loan or it's going to be a grant, there's paperwork and there's a paper trail that's going to eventually be audited by the government. And Heartland's payroll is just a fantastic solution to be able to make sure that you have all those things in place so that when the time comes, you're properly prepared, you have all the paperwork you need, you're able to manage that process, which that process is constantly being changed and constantly growing and evolving. So having Heartland as your advocate to stay on top of those changes for you is a huge plus for our business owners. How you bring your employees back, how you communicate to them. So if you furloughed people, you laid people off, and now you have to bring them back, how you communicate that is extremely important, and it actually can potentially affect the PPP loan. If you didn't properly communicate to your employees when they're coming back, how they're coming back, and how they respond, if that's not properly done, that could affect whether that's a loan that you have to pay back or a grant. So those are ways that we're helping our clients navigate. And then e-commerce, online ordering, all the different ways that you can accept credit cards, either through a mobile device, through an application. Now, I've literally written more e-commerce deals in the last 4 months than I have in 4 years. If you don't have a way of being able to let clients get onto your website and place an order for goods, for services, food, anything, you're just missing the boat. You're going to wind up ultimately. You're not going to last very long. It's really
So is Heartland actually helping their clients establish these things? On all these different platforms, they're helping them. Are they really going that extra mile?
Absolutely. And it's been extended for a while. We actually had an online ordering system with one of our partners, Mojo. We could actually have a restaurant have a website where customers could order online within 24 hours. And there was free setup. We didn't charge the monthly fee, which it's a nominal fee. Honestly, it's not very expensive. It might be $30 a month to maintain the website and maintain the gateway. But we weren't even charging that for 3 months, and I believe that's been extended. So that's one example. But it's really very, very easy. If you don't have a website, we can help you get one. It might be a simple website. We can help you get one. If you're a professional organization that's looking to invoice your clients and have them pay you as much as possible, either online or through email, we can set those things up. We have an online billing system, which is fabulous, where you could actually send invoices to your customers by email. They can click and pay either by credit card or even by ACH, by check, where they just put in their checking account information. So that's been a great solution for a lot of different professional businesses, lawyers, attorneys, doctors, manufacturers, contractors. Heartland for service professionals for contractors is fabulous. You can actually create jobs, and you can assign your different contractors to a job, and the job, whether he pays, whether he actually accepts the credit card on a mobile device, or the person calls in, or does it by email and clicks and pays, it all comes together into one Heartland service, and the entirety of the deposits are all going to be deposited into the customer's account overnight, the next day. So doesn't matter how many different ways they accept it. And that's a fabulous service, and it just makes people's lives a lot easier. It also gives them access to cash a lot faster.
So tell me, what are you looking for? Who you want to be connected to?
The folks that I work with, that I believe are mutually beneficial partnerships for a guy like myself. Well, first, let me say this. I'm a member of the greatest BNI chapter in the state of New Jersey, the BNI Founders. They are in my 4th year there, and I've been lucky and blessed enough to be one of the founding members of the Founders. They are probably responsible for about 25% of my overall business. I can directly attribute to the relationships I've built at BNI through the Founders, and then kind of through the greater channel of the BNIs, meeting people in different chapters and so on and so forth. I couldn't be in business without it. There it is. I'd be looking for a job, honestly. Which, if I were looking for a job, BNI would be a great place for me to probably find one too.
I was gonna come to that point. I was gonna ask you, how did BNI? What was BNI's role in your involvement with BNI and so forth? How does that impact your business and how you do things? So I was going to go to that next, and so tell me a little bit more about the BNI relationships and so forth, and what you've built, and how it has impacted financially to what you do, and then tell me how it can impact somebody else's profession.
Well, let's take that second part of that question, how it can affect somebody else. Earlier this morning during our meeting, I invited one of my new reps who I'm directly managing, just started yesterday. I invited him to the BNI chapter to take a look at it. Now, this is a guy who's been doing sales for 30 years. He's been involved in multiple chambers of commerce. He's been involved in local community efforts and so on and so forth. The guy knows how to get wired into his community. He knows how to build networking relationships. He's never heard of BNI, which blew my mind. I said, you got to check this out. Well, I had a call with him 5 o'clock today, and the first thing he said to me when we got on the phone was, I can't believe what I saw this morning. And I wasn't sure where he was going. And the next words out of his mouth were, that was amazing. I can't believe what I just saw. To quote Jack Buck when Kirk Gibson hit that home run and limped around, I don't believe what I just saw. Those were his words. He was so excited, and he will be reaching out to you, Jonathan, because he does want to look at a couple of other chapters in the area, specifically in the Essex County area where he's based. He loved the fact that if he becomes part of a chapter, he's the only guy that's going to get those credit card referrals, ideally. He loves the fact that he can build trust with strong partnerships. Ideally, build a strong relationship with a CPA in the chapter. And CPAs are very, very big, mutually beneficial partnerships for us to have in this industry. Build a strong relationship potentially with a commercial insurance agent. Same thing. With any kind of insurance agent, with a financial advisor, with maybe another payroll person, with 401k person. Like, all these people are potential, with a bank. These are all potential referral sources for us, and vice versa. We're potentially referral sources for them as well. He's super excited.
Ed, tell me how a financial person would be a good referral. How would you turn the tables? If a financial person is has good referrals or good connections for you, how would it be the other way around?
Great question. I talk to business owners all the time. And many of these business owners are they're entrepreneurial. Maybe a couple of them are even independently wealthy. But one common thread I've noticed in good business owners, they treat their personal finances as if it were a business. And they're usually more open to the financial advisor conversation than somebody who, they forget their PIN number on their debit card. They just see it as, oh, yeah, but I'm gonna have to give this person X amount of dollars a month, and I don't understand what I'm even getting. Business owners don't look at it that way. They look, I'm investing this, and the hope is that it's going to go up and up. So if you think about the financial advisors, when I have conversations with them, I ask them all the time, who are great referrals for you? Almost every one of them to a person will tell me a great referral for me today would be this particular business owner, or this type of business owner, or somebody who has recurring revenue. And a lot of times recurring revenue is in a situation like I have, where I have a book of business that gives me recurring revenue every month, or a business that kind of runs on its own, where like they have, I just recently brought on board a copy company that sells and leases copiers. And every single month, he's just building his customer base, and every month he's billing them a certain thing. So it's just, financial advisors love people like that.
All right. Well, these are very good examples of how it can go back and forth. So in our chapter, we're both members of the Founders Chapter, which meets every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Very important for you people to understand. There's a certain level of dedication that we have here, a level of commitment, so that people understand that being a member of our chapter, for instance, is not a show up if you like to kind of thing, or not. We're very committed, and therefore this is how we build much better relationships, because you know that we're going to be there. Now, in the past, it was in person, and you'd see people show up so early, and it wasn't for the breakfast.
No,
it wasn't for the coffee or whatever was there. It was because
bring your own.
Connect. They wanted to connect early in the morning, and they had that level of commitment. And obviously, you're going to refer to somebody who you see often, that you know is there on time and so forth. You're going to see that person as a trusted member of your referral partners, right? So what we're trying to do now is not only get to know you a little bit better and find out the better referrals for you. So this would be the ultimate one-to-one. Also to find who would be the better. We have a good array of individuals that you had mentioned in our chapter that are good referral partners for you. But we need to find more referral partners, because for each person not only grows for you, but grows exponentially for every member. So we need to think outside the box a little bit and think of, since we have everybody's attention for the last 20 minutes or so, we need to see, if we put it out there, who are we looking to have come and participate in one of our meetings where they can grow their business, like you and I and so many have already done by attending and making that.
I can tell you right now, I would love a commercial real estate agent. I would love to have a good commercial real estate agent. We have a great real estate team on the residential side. But I think on that side, a commercial real estate agent opens up a lot of different avenues for everybody in the chapter. Me specifically, I'll find out who's opening up a new storefront. When we had a commercial real estate agent for a little while, he would literally just call me up and say, "Look, I just leased out a liquor store, and this is the guy's name, and you should go and tell him Lou sent you, and you go and talk to him." And I got quite a bit of business that way. And it was also great for me too, because I was able to In my process of talking to business owners, I ask them questions all the time. Are you looking to expand? Are you looking to grow? You tell me what's going on, or are you looking to consolidate? You know, is the rent killing you? And those were opportunities for me to bring back to him. You're laughing, but Jonathan, you're a business owner. You know I'm not lying. These are absolutely questions as you as a business owner are thinking to yourself, do I need a bigger space? Do I need a smaller space? Is the mortgage killing me? Do I need to maybe move? Do I, I'm bringing on funds. Where am I going to put them? Social distancing now. Do I have enough room in my current space to have the social distancing that I need? If I don't, I need to maybe get a bigger space. Or maybe do I have people work from home and consolidate? All of these things are great opportunities for a commercial real estate agent to be working with us, and vice versa, on the coming back to the same way.
All right. Well, this has been really good. It was good to have you up here, and it was good to talk about you and understand a little bit more about you. I don't think our one-to-ones that we typically have go down this road in the details to understand more about you and how we can refer business to you. And this was pretty good. We should adopt some of this to, our one-to-ones with other members. And with that being said, who do you think we should have next week?
Who would be a great person to talk about their business next week? I actually, myself,
No, you're here.
No, I think myself, a great person to potentially have would be one of our bankers from our side, either Amy Krasinski or Steve Youngman.
That's good. Well, then, maybe we can set that up for next week. We get one of them on there, and maybe they can tell.
Mark Siaka.
Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. Good picture. So maybe we'll set that up. Help get them to come online.
Absolutely. I think that would be great.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining me this evening, and hopefully we'll make a go of this every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I would look forward to it, and thank you again for inviting me. Excited to be hopefully the first of many.
Right. Well, thanks again. I think that's it.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.